Meeting of August 18, 2026 of the Township of Washington Zoning Board. Adequate notice of the meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by the Board Secretary to at least 2 newspapers on January 15, 2026, and this meeting has now been posted on the Township Bulletin Board, Electronic Message Board, WCTV, and on the Township website. Public announcement. Governor Murphy signed into law on June 30th, 2025, a new law which reflects the transition from traditional print newspaper to online platforms as of March 1st, 2026. You will find on our township website a tab on the home page named Public Notices, where all official public notices are required to be posted and may be obtained or viewed. These documents, in addition, will have a hyperlink to the Secretary of State's public notice webpage. Let's salute to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. D'Agostino is absent. Mrs. Grimaldi is absent. Mr. Labrada.
Here.
Mrs. Osmond.
Here.
Mr. Rivera is absent. Mr. Zitko.
Here.
Mr. Bellion.
Here.
Mr. Tadros.
Here.
Chairman Getz is not here right now, but he will be late. Let the record reflect also in attendance are Board Attorney Gary Giantonio, Board Engineer John McKimmick, and Board Secretary Grace Kalish.
Public portion. To participate in the general public portion of the meeting, please click the link on the website and listed on the agenda to join the webinar. You will be asked to state your name for the record, and we ask that only one person speak at a time. This public comment portion is only for non-agenda items. Time is set aside later in the meeting to address questions or comments about current agenda times. If you are participating by phone, press star 9 to raise your hand and star 6 to unmute at the end of the general public portion. No further general questions or comments will be accepted. Let it reflect that at 7:33, Mr. D'Agostino has joined us. Let's we do motion to open now?
Yeah, the public.
Okay, let's motion.
General public.
Yeah, let's.
Make a motion.
Motion to-
open the public portion.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is for anything that's not on the agenda for tonight. If anybody has any comments or questions. Anybody on Zoom?
No.
Nobody in the audience? Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's do the approval of the minutes, and I like to do it one at a time and nice and slow since there's a bunch of them that needs to be done. The first one is February 10th of 2026. Has anybody have any comments or questions, concerns for the February meeting? And for me. I didn't have any either. Does anybody have any questions, comments up from the board?
No.
Motion to approve the minutes on February 10th of 2026.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's do May 19th of 2026. I have nothing. Does anybody have any comments, questions, concerns from the board? Nope. Motion to approve May 19, 2026 meetings.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's do June 4th, regular and closed sessions.
Well, the first one is the regular, it's the non-closed.
Yeah, so there
Right.
we go.
So you want to do that first?
Let's do okay, we'll do one at a time. June
Yeah.
4th, regular meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Okay. Then June 4th, closed session. Any comments, questions, concerns?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes for June 16th. I have a question.
Okay.
It was brought up in one of the meetings about the confirmation that the shed has been gone. I read the minutes. I didn't see anything that was in the minutes
About the shed?
about the shed. I know the applicant said that at the night, but I don't see nothing in the minutes. So if it's missing in the minutes, which I believe it is, either we put it back in, or can we have a letter signed by the applicant stating that the shed has been gone?
I'll review. So you're saying that the shed was down at the time of the meeting?
There was a question that Mary Ann had brought up about the shed. We brought it up. The applicant said that, no, the shed had been removed,
Okay.
and.
The back
we-
shed was removed.
Right, the back shed was removed, and we said, okay, fine. I read the minutes. I did not see about the shed itself in the minutes.
Okay.
So
I have to
either-
review the
That's
tape.
the Walsh application?
Yes, so
I know we have it in the resolution, which we didn't get to.
Okay.
It does mention
the
the
shed.
shed was already,
So when,
Okay.
so I have a
You
question.
just table the approval of these minutes
Yeah.
until she can review.
Yes.
Okay, or I was gonna say, okay.
Yeah, let's table.
You want to table it?
Yeah,
That's-
yeah, we
okay.
can table it.
It's a switch. Okay.
table it to the next meeting to make any corrections.
Okay, so we're gonna table June 16th minutes to next month's meeting.
Yeah.
All in favor, anybody for motion that?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. Now,
Brought up the minutes.
that's the minutes.
Here's Fred.
Here's Fred, just on time. You sure that's Fred?
The other guy's Fred. That
Oh,
Fred.
good. Mr. Getz, you just arrived on time.
Straight off the boat. Pretty much.
It's 7:38. Mr. Getz, the chairman, has now come to the board. We're at the application for 745 Lane Place.
Okay. Just approve the minutes.
We just did all the minutes. Yeah,
Except one we
except
tabled.
one,
We
June
tabled one.
16th is tabled to next month.
Okay. All right. But all the other minutes were approved. We had general public already.
Did you get my message about Jason? He didn't have a link, he was trying to. Thank you, Mr. Legato.
No problem.
Apologies for being late. One other order of business, because board member is trying to join via Zoom. And he just has to get the link, so.
Yeah, we're gonna, you have that next on the agenda.
Except we have 745.
So we'll just, because the other one's an adjournment.
Okay.
We'll make that announcement in case. there's any-
Yeah, that's fine.
Grace, do you have a letter on Gitlin?
Letter for Giblin? I
Yeah.
do. Well, I have one for everybody. You want everybody together or
We
you?
don't have that one.
Yeah, you can give one there. I just want to make the announcement
Okay.
for that
You
app.
want to make that announcement?
Yeah.
While we're trying to get.
Yeah.
If there's anyone here for the application 982 Garibaldi Place, just please be advised that their attorney, Brian Giblin, had sent the board a letter on July 10th, advising the board that this is a request that the application scheduled for July 21st be carried to the following meeting, August 18th, 2026. This is the July, was there another
No.
letter after
Yes,
that?
yes, there's a letter.
Yeah, we don't have that.
That was for the prior meeting, but that meeting did not take place.
It was canceled.
That application was heard at the June meeting. They adjourned it to the July meeting. There was no July meeting. Then they renoticed for this meeting,
Those letters.
but they have also asked for an adjournment for this meeting. No, I don't want that letter.
Those letters.
So the letter dated August 13th, 2026 to the board
Thank you.
is, again, like I just said, they were at the regularly scheduled June meeting when adjournment was requested. A subsequent adjournment request was made in July to allow for additional time for continued coordination to address neighbors' concerns with the proposed home, in addition to the jurisdiction issue regarding 50% removal of exterior walls. They attached here to Exhibit A, which is a letter from the architect confirming that less than 50% of both exterior walls and floor will be demolished. Kindly allow this letter to serve as one additional adjournment request to the next regular scheduled meeting in September, as they continue to meet with their adjacent neighbors to discuss and amend the architectural/engineering plans to address their concerns and any potential issues. They've also, in this letter, agreed to extend the time within which the board has to act on the application. So if there's anyone here or online for 982 Garibaldi Place, that will not be heard tonight. It's being adjourned to the September meeting.
Mr. Rivera
And
has
just-
joined us. Just for the
Okay.
record.
And just for the record, that they're renoticing, they would have to renotice anyway for this last meeting that didn't happen, so they do have to renotice for the September.
Okay.
They have to, because there was no meeting in July. Yeah,
Okay.
even though they weren't gonna be here, it doesn't matter, because we couldn't make the announcement at that meeting.
So we'll let them know that they do have to renotice. Sir, come on up.
That was the answer.
Okay, all right, because you were here in reference to that application, correct? Yeah, so they will have to renotice, and they will be on the agenda for the September meeting. Okay. Anybody else for that application? Any questions? No? Okay. Did you email?
Yes, he's here.
Mr. Rivera is here. Okay, wonderful. All right. Again, apologies for being late, but new business, application of James and Amanda Ciliento for a pool retaining wall and tree removal in 745 Wayne Place, block 2208, lot 4. Come on up.
We did go through we opened it up to the public.
Yeah, we already did, Jack.
James Ciliento, 745.
I could swear you in and swear it's your architect, right?
Engineer.
Or engineer, I'm sorry.
Please.
Wait, we have an architect on the board here. I don't want to give.
Not me.
I would not want to.
I'm just John Q. Plumber.
You're just young people over there, dude. No offense.
No, none taken.
Please, please
None
raise your right
taken.
hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give this board is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? And please state your name for the record.
James Saliendo.
Thank you. And you have your witness, your engineer?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
we can swear you in. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give this board is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay.
The
And you're,
record- So my name is Mark Martins, Martins, 55 Walnut Street, Norway, New Jersey. I'm a licensed professional engineer, licensed land surveyor. Don't believe I've appeared before this board, but I'm here before the planning board, numerous boards throughout Bergen County throughout my career.
yeah, I used to be the board attorney in Palisades Park, and I remember many times coming in front of that. And your license is currently in good standing in the state of New Jersey?
Yes.
Okay. I ask the board to accept this witness as an expert witness in the field of engineering.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Thank you.
Any objections?
No.
All right, so approved.
Okay, so we are here tonight for a pool, construction of a pool and associated variances with that. So just a little background. This is a relatively new construction. The house was started in about 2024. The applicants are currently residing there. They have a temporary CO. But at that time, when we went before the planning board for soil moving,
Do you mind moving the drawing a little bit so we can see it? Sorry.
which was in about June, I think, of 2024, the planning board approved the soil moving application. Subsequent to that, in about September of 2024, construction was commenced. So at the time, our clients had anticipated in the future constructing a new pool. So what has transpired since then, the borough has passed a new ordinance limiting the amount of impervious coverage, which affects the property. So now, in order to put a pool on this property and add additional impervious areas, we do request variances from the next part. So let me just kind of go over some of the areas that we're looking at here. So again, I really want to mark this as an exhibit. This is a colorized rendition of our site plan, which is the same one that was presented before.
Okay, so we'll mark that as A1. And what would we call it? Colorized rendition of,
Pool site plan, 735 William Place, and then the last revision date is August 9th, 2025.
last revised August 9th.
August 9th, 2025.
Thank you. Yeah, A1, colorized rendition of a pool site plan.
Okay, so just in general, property is known as 745 William Place, lot 4, block 22.8, on tax map, and it's situated just to the south of the White Birch Road. The property has frontage of 100 feet, depth of 218 feet, lot area of 21,800 square feet. So this kind of gray hatched area represents the footprint of the constructed building. It's not natural per se, it's really our original site plan. We just added information to it. Driveway situated on the southerly side of the car garage. We use the wing place, associated covered porch in the front, covered patios in the rear, and covered patios also. So all of these areas over here, you can see that the gray hatch, the lighter gray hatch, were part of the originally approved site plan. What's new now is the rear area here, this kind of rectangular area here, which represents the pool patio area, and the blue color area is obviously the pool itself, which is a 20-foot by 40-foot pool, with the spot is next to you down to the lower area. So we do have some topographic restrictions considered as well in this property. The property does slope down from the rear of the house towards the back. There's an area maybe about, let's say, 30 or 40 feet from the rear property line, so it's more steeply sloped. And the pool is going to kind of be situated in that area and partially into that other area on the slope as well. So in order to do or construct this pool and patio, we do need to provide a retaining wall along the sides and along this rear area of the yard, not all the way to the property line, but set back probably about 25 feet from the property line. And because of that grade, we'll have a maximum height of about 10 and thank you. We'll have a maximum height of about 10.5 feet. It as you go towards Wayne Place, where the slope of the property goes up, that will eventually get to 0. Somewhere, maybe a third up from the back of that, it's only about 3 to 4 feet high. All right, so we're really here for impervious coverage variances and one kind of minor setback variance, as I mentioned before. The impervious coverage is a new ordinance that affects the property, but wasn't in effect at the time of the original approval. So we are seeking a variance where 33% of the lot coverage is required as a maximum. We're proposing 40.79 feet. The other setback variance is for a poolside yard, which is really related to the patio, I should say, side yard of the pool, not the pool itself. The pool itself conforms to the maximum or minimum side yard setbacks and rear yard setbacks for a pool are 3 feet. We are set back 17.5 feet from the northerly property line and 62.3 feet from the rear line, so we're well clear of any minimum setbacks. But the one little minor area here is on the northerly side, where a 15-foot patio side yard setback, which is a little bit odd because if you can put the pool 3 feet from the property line, why does your patio have to be 15 feet? But that's the way the ordinance is. And so that setback is 10.5 feet. So those are the two variances we're here seeking tonight: the side yard setback to the pool patio and the overall impervious coverage of the area itself. And that's pretty much the application of my testimony. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
So was the pool originally part of the planning board application?
No, it was not. So they always anticipated that would be a future project.
Who always anticipated?
This is the owners, the applicant and owner.
So the planning board did not hear any testimony
No.
with regard to?
Correct.
Excuse me, wouldn't it be easier to go back to the planning board since they had all your information already? And it would have even been quicker than coming to a new board and
Well, it's
going through all this?
because they passed the new ordinance limiting
When did
impervious
they-
coverage. That was
what new ordinance?
September 2024, I believe.
24, they changed.
There
some
was
of
no
the
ordinance
zoning.
before
Right.
that,
There was no impervious restriction
There
when
was
we were
no
here. No.
impervious at that, or I thought it was
There was-
before that, a little bit before that.
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I
So-
have another thing. When you have your
Sure.
zoning schedule,
Yep.
you have the minimum lot depth feet 95. Well, that's not right. It's 200. It's a AAA zone, half acre zone. It wouldn't be 95 feet.
I think there's something in the ordinance that says you can't, it has to be 95 feet. But we're 218 feet, so
No, I'm just
we're
saying.
conforming
it's
lot,
incorrect
yeah.
in the-
150.
Excuse me?
It's 150.
Oh, it went to 150, not 200 anymore?
Minimum lot depth within the AA single-family zone, I found to be 150 per the code.
Okay.
And we're 218, so we're.
And you
compliant.
said it's 95, so I mean, I would.
Yeah, no, there's another section of the
It's a
code that,
technicality,
yeah,
but
that,
I'd
that
like
says
to
95,
Very
so,
precise.
yep, understood. So I don't know if I answered your question before, but we're here because we have the variances, so we can't go back to the planning board.
So I'll ask the obvious question. Why not build a smaller pool?
Well, you could always build a smaller pool. 20 by 40 is a nice size pool, kind of a standard dimension. All right. But
That's
that's,
a lot of water.
right.
Yeah, that's
And listen,
why I-
20,000 gallons.
It is a lot of water and you know, I would like
There's
a
no
bigger
diving
pool
pools
as well, but you have some severe restrictions with this
Mhm.
property, especially the topography. So the 10-foot retaining wall is an issue for me.
Mhm.
I would think that it would be better to stagger it at, 3-4 foot walls, and then we would,
well, if I could just,
eliminate some
yeah,
space.
if I could just interject there, I don't mean to cut you off, Mr. Chairman, but we actually did look at that. We had a number of different plans, but because of the slope in the backyard, as you try to tear that wall down, you're just kind of chasing the slope downhill. So it doesn't really gain you much, just you end up with a bunch of terraces and the walls will still be like 6 feet in height, if not more. So we thought rather than create more disturbance, we'll create less disturbance and have a higher wall. So that was the design choice.
And of course, I'm going to defer to our engineer on that respect, but I mean, unfortunately for you, I've actually just finished up a 4-year case on putting in a pool and water flowing onto the neighboring property because the pool was higher than the neighboring property, and the hydrodynamics issues with a 10-foot wall there concern me. So that does concern me. It also concerns me that you're at the top of a hill and there's neighbors that are below you. And again, I'm going to defer to our engineer on some subsequent questions on that, but those are my initial concerns.
Sure.
How was the height of the wall determined?
The height of the wall is determined basically by grading out. Of course, you have a pool, you have a patio, they have to be relatively level. So just taking from the back of the house, going down a couple of steps to a level area, which is pretty much level with the existing grade somewhat, and then leveling that out. And as the ground goes down, obviously, then you have to level it out and create a retaining wall.
So the back of the property dips? It goes
Oh, yes,
down?
it slopes
It's hard-
down.
It's hard to see from the street.
Yeah, so-
That's usually why I'm asking the question.
Right, from the street, it looks level, but then when you get to
From
the
street,
back,
the only thing I could see was the big
Right.
bulldozer on the property,
Right.
so that's the only thing I saw.
right, so then as you get to the backyard, though, then there's a slope, there's a drop off in the backyard.
So why couldn't, instead of making the wall 10 feet high, why couldn't you level the back and build a smaller wall?
I think that's what the chairman was getting at, why can't you
Oh,
tier them?
No,
Right.
I don't mean keep it at 10 feet.
Yeah,
You're telling me that the land is here and then it
Right.
drops.
right.
I'm saying, why can't you fill this in and level it and make this wall not 10 feet high, make it smaller?
Well, we're filling in, okay, I don't know if I mentioned that, we're filling in the backyard, not cutting it. So if we're carrying a level length, correct? Again, a little pen here, just.
going into it. So the ground goes something like this, okay? This is the back of the house.
Okay,
All right, so what we're doing is we're creating a level patio up the back here, and then creating a wall to catch the grade, which is sloping down. You can see that.
okay.
So that's the height. And as you go closer to the house or closer to Wayne, that height diminishes and reduces because
Right,
of
so-
topography.
So what I'm saying is, instead of putting a wall,
Yeah.
why can't you just fill it in with soil and level it out?
Well, you have to slope it down to the side and to the rear, and by the time you did that, with a suitable slope, you really wouldn't have any level area whatsoever. Right, so if you took 10 feet and sloped it out, 3 to 1, you have to go back 30 feet. So you would basically come up to someplace over here, you would have to move.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
may I ask a question?
you sure can.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Martins?
Yes.
John Kimmick from Boswell Engineering. So was there any thought to, in the site plan that was submitted, there are 1, 2, 3 very long steps between the covered patio and the paver patio and the paver patio surrounding the pool.
Mhm.
Was there any thought of increasing the number of steps to bring the level of the coping and the area around the pool lower so that the retaining walls wouldn't be so high?
We did, but to create a functional area between the covered patios and pavers adjacent to the building, John, which have already been constructed, all right, so that was part of the original approval. You don't want a 10, step stairway going down to your patio. It doesn't make it continuous with the upper recreational area. So you want to be under your covered patio, on your paver patio, adjacent to the house, and be able to walk down 3 or 4 steps, which I think is reasonable to get to the pool patio and the pool. Otherwise, it's really disconnecting that area, the pool area, from the rest of the house. That's why we did it.
What prevents a 10-foot wall from coming down?
Well, it'll be engineered, it'll be a structural design, the structural engineer will design it, submit calculations to Boswell for review.
Mr. Chairman, one thing, so we rendered a report dated August 12th, 2026, and I want to point out there's an error in number 6. We have a table there about maximum impervious coverage. The requirement should be 33%, not 30%. But item number 7, and I'm seeking some interpretation from the board. There's nothing in our code that talks about retaining walls and side yards. However, I want to bring it to the board's attention if they would consider a retaining wall an encroachment within a required side yard. Right now, we're talking about the patio encroaching in the side yard and a variance associated with that, 10.5 feet proposed, 15 feet required. Would they, these retaining walls are going right up against the property line. So while we're debating this height business and these retaining walls, they're right up against the property line, and I don't know if the board will interpret that as that yard being now encumbered by a structure that's not allowed by our code.
I would think that it would be.
So would I.
And then they would have to seek that variance.
Right. How far is it gonna be from the,
So it varies. So the smaller walls, which are about 3 or 4 feet in height, are close to the property line, 1/2 foot off. Then we stepped it in on the sides where it got larger. So it's on the southerly side, it's 3 feet. And on the northerly side, it's 6 feet because we provided for some stairs to access the rear yard for maintenance purposes, et cetera.
So to maintain those trees, are those trees staying? Those are
So
6 trees that are staying down on the lower level, which is the flat land, I presume, back by then?
the trees that you're referring to here, these
Right.
are proposed plantings.
Oh, they're
Yes,
proposed?
so there will be a number of trees, I believe it's 23 trees to be removed.
my understanding,
Wait, I'm sorry.
what's behind the property?
I'm sorry, how many trees are being removed?
23.
And how many are being put in place?
We have 6 in the backyard and 4 in the other yard
Yeah,
areas.
but our ordinance calls
Two.
2 to 1.
2 for 1.
Correct. So we would make any kind of in lieu contribution or plant trees.
So you need at least 46, 47 trees.
We would need 46 trees in total,
Right.
less the number that we planted on here. Correct.
But, okay, but it doesn't show us where it's going to be on the plans yet.
Well, I'm presuming that your township has some means of planting those trees in public places or providing some funds for tree planting on locations outside of the premises.
I thought it had to be,
They can pay
Yeah, there
$400
is- there
per
is.
tree.
And then it
to the
gets
tree,
donated
And then
to
the
it.
green
Yeah.
team plants them somewhere else.
Right.
in town.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Right.
did that.
It doesn't have to be on the, it doesn't have to be on the
It's like a tree.
customer's property.
Whatever they can't
Well, they may not
accommodate
be
on
able
the
to.
yard
Okay.
can be.
But is it going to be easy to maintain that if you have that 10-foot wall there? Or you have to, are you going to have to go around on somebody else's property to
No.
get to that property?
No, the wall is set back probably about 25 feet from the rear property line.
Right.
And then we have stairs along the side so you can access.
There'll be all stairs all the way down to the
No.
bottom section?
No, it's like 5 or 6 steps going from the upper level to this level here and then it slopes down. So you'll have access for maintenance, the landscapers can get there and
It doesn't
maintain.
look like there's a lot of room to access.
So-
I
So
mean,
instead of 10,
There's plenty of room.
so 5 or 6 steps, where is it only 10 foot on the side yard?
this here.
Or is it less of a retaining wall in the backyard?
So the highest point, Mr. Chairman, will be, I'm going to call it the northeast corner of the wall, and if you can see where I'm pointing to. And then again, as you go towards Wayne Place, so as you go towards those steps,
And this is,
that wall right there is only going to be 3 foot 4 inches high.
there's a gap between my place.
They're looking for
The whole tent. I wasn't.
You can't be listening to this.
patio side yards.
That's what I'm looking-
Maybe it's all here. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
On the plans,
Yep.
so I understand it myself. Where it says, the solid is where it says proposed Keystone retaining wall, and that's what goes straight across. It comes towards the house, and then it makes a left, and then it goes straight up. And that's what, how far is that away from the property line? On the left-hand side?
On the left-hand side,
Was it
yes.
less than a foot?
It's, yes, 6 inches from the property line there.
6 inches from the property line?
Yeah.
And what about on the other side, to the right? What is
Right.
that, 6 feet from the property line?
So the lower wall is 6 feet. I'm going to call it the upper wall here along the northerly side is again about 6 inches. And that's the smaller wall. So that wall again is 3 foot 4 inches max height.
And that's the reason why you're looking for a variance on that as well, on the sides.
Well, that's an interpretation issue. If that's what the board determines, then so be it. I don't believe I saw anything in the ordinance per se that restricted retaining wall from the property line.
I'm sorry, and how high would these walls be on the side?
3 foot 4 inches.
3, 4, 3, 4,
It's below 4 feet.
3 feet.
Sorry?
It's a small wall. It's below
Yes,
4
correct.
feet.
And what?
And again, so that's at the highest point of that wall, but as it meets the grade, it'll be 0. So it's,
And what is there, a fence next to the
let's see, we got a fence, there's a fence on the southerly side and a fence on the northerly side as
and
well.
how high is the fence?
Um,
Oh, I'm sorry, whose fence is it?
Those are the neighbors'
Sole
fences.
fences
Yeah.
and the neighbor's fences.
Okay, and how high is that fence?
They're 6 foot.
That's 6 foot?
8 foot.
Probably 6 foot. Standard fence is
Yeah,
6
standard
feet. It's 6 feet.
Standard
Yeah.
fence, right.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
Where those trees are, what's below those trees? Is it the new neighbor, is it another neighbor? Is that the neighbor's property?
That's right.
Yeah, so this is the rear property line. So behind that, to the east is the neighbor's property.
It's what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's the neighbor's property,
It's
correct?
neighbor's property.
Yeah.
So
I'm
it's,
sorry.
that's okay. So just to get this right, it slopes down in the back and on the right side?
It's predominantly sloped from the back pass down towards the rear of the property. There's some slight changes, left to right, if you will, but not significant. The significant changes is front to back.
So on the right side, there's a retaining wall of 4 foot, 6 inches off the property line, or 3 point something?
3 foot 4 inches on, so the right side being the northerly, right side of my plan being the northerly side of the property.
And then where is the bigger wall? How far away is that?
So then, continuing with that same location, Mr. Chairman, we would come in 6 feet, and that wall would start then and return towards the rear of the property. Let me just scale it for you. So that would continue another 25 feet approximately, and then run across the middle of the backyard, which is again set back about 27 feet from the rear property line.
Okay. And where is the 10-foot height? Is that in
So-
the rear?
Yes, so that would be the rear wall.
And we're saying we couldn't terrace that because,
Well, again, if you terrace it to the rear, all right, you're chasing that slope. If we terrace it to the front, we're eating into their yard. So part of this design was that we have the pool area, the patio area, and then also some yard space behind the pool as well.
but this
So if
design
you chase
also
it to
calls
the
for
front, it
40% impervious coverage.
Right. We understand that, and we understand we're kind of in a little predicament here because, you know, if we had done it originally, we wouldn't be here, but we didn't know the ordinance was going to be passed. So we kind of got stuck in this situation where this is what they wanted to do, but.
I would say if you did it originally, the planning board might have had some objections as well, though. Because whether there was an ordinance or not,
Mhm.
they probably would have taken the totality of the circumstances into account and said that you need to do something here.
Yeah, hard to say.
It's big.
Yeah, hypothetical.
It's a lot.
Yeah, Gotcha, I got you.
Can I,
So, yeah,
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
With that wall?
Mhm.
Okay, I understand that the back wall is 10 feet high, but if you had tiered it, how much would it take on the diagram?
Mhm.
How much more would it take of the land in the back so I can see what you're losing? No, but
So,
if you leave it the way the back line is, that's.
Yeah, if you leave that
solid, it's the
there.
height, and you go, I guess, towards the house.
right.
How much would you lose in that property line?
So if we, let's hypothetically say we made that 5 feet high, okay?
Okay,
And then we terraced another 5 foot high wall in here, that would probably have to be about 10 feet or so past that wall. So we'd be over here.
and how close would it be to, I'm sorry. It's still far away from the pool area.
It would be about 15 feet from the pool. And we also have drainage, I didn't mention that before, but we do have, to address some of the comments before, we do have a drainage plan, we have inlets, we have
I
underground
understand that,
chambers.
but The drainage
Right.
is underneath the ground.
Right.
But I'm still saying, it's not like the wall is on top of the pool.
No.
You still have distance from
We
the
do.
pool to the back.
Yes.
So I'm kind of with the chairman. I'm not comfortable with a 10-foot
Yeah.
height wall. I'm really not.
Okay.
I'm
I
not
understand
either.
your point of it. I understand what you're trying to tell us. But, you know, if you said to me that if we tiered it and the second wall was right on top of the pool or very close to the pool,
Right.
then I would reconsider my own thoughts. But you still have space in between. It's not like you can't enjoy the area.
Right, understood. And I do appreciate all your comments, and perhaps take 5 minutes just to talk
And you're
about it.
going to say, no, you don't like it.
No, listen, I'm not an attorney, I'm not whatever, I'm just an engineer here. Obviously, from what I'm gathering, the board would like to see some changes to these plans, all right, before they get through.
Recess to talk to
So
your
I just
client.
take a few minutes just to talk to my client about perhaps what they want to do before we go any further. All right?
So I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. Is there an opportunity to reduce, is there an opportunity to reduce the height of that 10-foot wall to maybe like 8 or 6? By backfilling the base, the foundation?
Not really, because the slope on the bottom of that wall is also pretty steep, so we don't want to do that. That would create more leveling. I think we're talking about doing the opposite, to create another tier inside that wall. So keep that lower wall where it is and put another tier inside it, which would create the same effect. So you'd have two smaller walls instead of one larger. Okay. So if
Before you take a quick recess, I just had a question with regard to your stormwater runoff plan. Can you, Mr. Yukimik, comment on the stormwater runoff plan as if they were to move it back, perhaps, and put in another tier, would that alleviate some of the, there would be more soil to absorb more runoff? Is that
It's inconsequential.
inconsequential?
To the design of the stormwater system.
Okay,
Is that correct, Mr. Moore?
correct. So the system was designed to capture the impervious areas of the pool, the patio, and the backyard.
okay,
So the runoff from those terraced areas would be insignificant.
okay.
I think I wanted to say something.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
Can I wanted to ask some questions.
Yep.
So I have the benefit of being involved in projects like this on a basically daily basis. The retaining walls and whether or not we should consider them a variance or not. We have a code that doesn't say that they require a variance. I think it's incredibly unfair to this applicant or any applicant for us to interpret something not in their favor, in that applicant's favor, to from the property line to the building. The retaining wall is not a building. So I think we're imposing a hardship on this applicant in that regard. Whether we agree with that they should be there or if it's good design is a different conversation. But I don't think we should be holding them to that. That's one comment I want to say. The second comment I want to say is that while this was adopted prior, this code was adopted prior to this ordinance, when we adopt a code, I mean, we had no requirement for impervious, which means you could buy a piece of property, a half an acre, and make the full half an acre impervious. I look at this property, and if I were designing this as part of a new house, I'd want to put more papers there, frankly. Now, that I think that the pool is large, 20 by 40 is not unheard of. 16 by 36 is another size, 18 by 36, but they're not actually providing a ton of patio space around the pool. So from my perspective, you drive by this, it's a brand new house, it's a beautiful brand new house. They've invested serious money into this property. I think we're penalizing them in a way. I think this is something we have to be careful of in this town. It's not like was the house built with variances, any variances?
No variance.
So it was entirely conforming.
Correct.
Okay. And if this were part of the application initially, it would have been heard. Now, of course, the planning board could have had some input. I never understand the idea of, retaining walls sound terrible. Nobody wants to hear about retaining wall. In this circumstance, that retaining wall is actually stopping the sheet flow from this property onto an adjacent neighbor. So not only is it because we have stormwater collecting, it's going to have a net positive effect on the neighbors. This is actually benefiting the neighbors. And if they were to tier it, instead of it being a 10-foot height difference from the top of the wall to the bottom, it's going to be a 12 or a 14. And then you're getting closer and closer to the property line. So, I think that at first glance, you look at an application like this and it's like, how could they come before this board and say this? And I think this is one of those examples with some pretty darn good reasons that they're here. And there is a more egregious version of this application. So I'm not looking to, put up a defense for this applicant, but I think we should be looking at this more than just the exact facts. Anybody in this town that bought a property with the intention, if they bought a property in town in July, expecting to build a pool on the property, and because we approved an ordinance, now that person's purchase is in jeopardy because they can't. I think that this is a very extreme code requirement. There's demonstrated proofs here that they complied, they meant to comply, they decided to do a pool. And I think we should look a little bit more carefully at this.
Well, I do agree with you that I do not think we can hold the applicant liable for the retaining wall being in the setback because it is not in our code. However, I think if we look at the totality of the circumstances,
because there is a 40% impervious coverage request, and we do have that ordinance in effect, how unfair it may or may not be that it did come into effect. The reason it came into effect was because obviously there was a problem and we didn't have one. And that may be unfair to the applicant, but we are bound, I believe, again, just my opinion, to enforce that code. I do agree with you 100% that although it may be an issue, and I appreciate Mr. Yukimik bringing it to our attention, that it could possibly be viewed as a incursion into the setback. That is not what our code says. So I agree that we should not, definitely should not hold that against the applicant. But the impervious coverage, we have to view in the totality of the application. And I think that presents some problems with regard to the height, which I think is a concern of the retaining wall. Obviously, we're going to get into more of the hydrodynamics and the retention, stormwater retention, but the amount of coverage that is requested over and above what our ordinance does say does present some issues. And we're looking at those. And I think we have to look at those. So I just want to be clear that, again, I don't think we can hold it against the applicant in any way, shape, or form that the retaining wall is in the setback, because our code does not say that. Everything else, we would have to address.
I have two more questions as well.
Okay, sure.
Dan can go.
If you don't mind. So I don't know the answers to these. So do we have forgiveness for permeable pavers in our code?
I believe we don't, but we should. But that would be a factor that, again, the board could consider.
So there are products out there that, based on the joints between the pavers, they allow a certain percentage. So it might be 30% impervious for the area. That can help an applicant like this. The other thing is, do we know whether or not the swimming pool itself counts towards impervious coverage or not?
Well, we are including it in our impervious coverage. So the water area is included. Some towns
Is that in our
include it.
ordinance?
No, not per se, and it's the interpretation of, I think, the engineer in town. I never interpret water surface as impervious.
So when I look,
I have a 10 by 20 pool and it never was.
so I didn't do any calculations on this at all. But just looking at it graphically, I kept saying to myself, I don't understand how they're at 44%.
So if you were to take the pool out,
Yeah.
what would you
So it
be?
would be
20 by 40,
So it may not need
800 square feet.
maybe, yeah.
We'll get to you in a second. Let them do that calculation.
3.7% reduction. Will be, with that 9, so we can still be over, those to down to about 37.4%.
37 versus 33 is a lot nicer.
I would say this to the board. My predecessor, who sat in this chair, I believe, did interpret a pool as impervious surface.
Okay.
So just
But you
for
do
the
not.
record, you get two engineers in a room, you get two different opinions. So
Right, but you do not, in your opinion.
I do not, in my opinion, and that's from practical experience.
Before.
Sorry.
But I also wanted to add that I understand 10 feet wall is always scary, but we see them all the time. If it's done right, and inspected, I would assume it will be, acceptable as long as the calculation is correct and it's done right. So
From an engineering perspective.
from an engineering perspective,
There's
so
also
from my
aesthetic
perspective, yeah.
as
I'm
well.
assuming that the inspection will be done and it will be,
So is the fence down slope of the retaining wall, or is the fence on top of the retaining wall?
well, we have a fence on top of the retaining wall, an additional fence other than the existing fences, of course, which will remain there, the
Do
neighbor's
you need the
fences.
fence on top?
We
of the
need it, we need it for two reasons. We need a pool fence to enclose the pool area.
Sure.
And then, of course, for safety reasons, we need a fence on top of the wall. So
So fall prevention, I
it's
get.
full protection.
But what about, so I'm trying to figure out what's the height above the fence? that is going to be visible of the retaining wall. So if you have a 6 foot.
Oh, so, yeah, so the fence, again, we're proposing on the top of the wall.
From the top of the fence to the top of the fence, what's
So
the vertical distance?
the fence will be 4 feet high.
Okay.
So it would not impact the wall looking at it from the rear property line. You would just see the wall 10 feet plus the fence, which is set back 3 feet. It's not right on top of it. Provided some setback there. And providing another fence like along the rear property line, I think because of the slope difference, we're about 126, we're about 4 feet or 5 feet higher than the rear property line. At the bottom of the wall will be about 4 or 5 feet higher than the rear property line. So even if you put a 6-foot fence along the property line, you would still see that wall.
What is currently on where that fence line is? Is there any landscaping from either your property or the neighbor behind you's property?
Our property is just
Right now.
a slope wooded area right now.
Okay. Right, it's just regular tree. Yeah.
Trees, correct.
Not interpreting into any of the other arguments yet, but one of the things I could suggest would be to add some arborvitae to cover that retaining wall. The neighbor behind can see trees instead of a wall.
I have a nursery, like.
Trees
are not a
And nobody wants to stare at a wall. Trees are better than looking at a wall.
I think that's a great idea.
Irrespective of the rest of the arguments right now, that's one thing I would suggest is to really shade the wall as much as possible from the view point of the neighbor behind you. Sure.
So, yeah.
And that would also add some of the trees that you wouldn't have to put into the tree bank then.
Right. So,
Okay.
so yeah, so we could add, if we added a row of arborvitae's just below that wall,
Just so the neighbor doesn't have to stare at
you
it.
put a 6 or 7 foot high arborvitae, it's going to basically block it.
Ones that are, there are ones that you wouldn't even know. It's got like a level sub base and a wide, like a 3/8 inch.
Those pavers that have the holes in the road with grass do not count towards the perk.
It depends on the percentage. So if it's 20%,
Those ones are
30%
typically
favor.
designed more for access roads than
Right.
personally impervious pavers.
Okay, so do we have an ordinance in reference to what type of pavers are considered pervious?
No, we don't. Now, if you're going to ask the board engineer's opinion,
Yes.
I might.
I would consider pervious pavers impervious because they require maintenance in the long term. So I gave you the pool, but with regard to pervious pavers, they have to be cleaned, vacuumed. They have to be maintained so that no silt or anything gets in the top of it. And then they could be very quickly become impervious. So that's Johnny Kimmick's opinion.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a few, we're gonna take 5 minutes and we're gonna give you some time.
First,
Um,
To get any input from.
yeah, one point of order though, Mr. Milliams has, let us know that he is within 200 feet of the project. So unfortunately, you gotta sit down there. I've had to do it before too. And you are a member of the public, so you can ask any questions that you like as a member of the public, but you are going to have to recuse yourself from the vote. And unfortunately, during this hearing, you're going to have to sit down there. And we're then going to open it up to the public. And then we're going to take a 5-minute recess so you can talk to your client. And then we're probably going to have some more questions. So bear with me 1 second. Any motion to open this to the public for questions for this witness?
Motion. A second.
All in favor? All right, so if any member of the public has any questions for this witness or either witness, just come up to the microphone. State your name and address
Hi.
and let us know your questions.
Hi, I'm Emily Kratzer. I live at 744 White Birch Road, down the hill from the Sorrentinos. And I've got to say that their planning has been meticulous. I think so far what they've said about the pool, the impervious area, and their plan for the retaining wall, I have no problem with that. Like the arborvitae, that was going to be our request. I would like to point out that we are part of what is called the Hillside Estates. And the original planners did a heck of a job because we are in a very steep hill. So my neighbors have an uphill area, then they have their flat area, then it goes very steeply down. Any idea of terracing there is going to be a real inconvenience. It's going to be a topographical nightmare, in my opinion. Probably the 10-foot wall, as long as the hill is stabilized and well designed on the wall, we should have no problem with that. The runoff concern. When the hillside estates were designed, there was the sharp downhill, which led to a flat area, and what, 20, 30 feet on that flat area, which is within that 20, 30 feet is our property line. So they have some of it, we have some of it, and then it comes again very sharply downhill to our backyard. When they designed all of this, they were smart enough that all the houses on White Birch were raised slightly above. So the runoff from downhill would go around the houses. And we've seen this time and again with heavy rains. You know, there's like a channel between us and our neighbors of the water coming down the hill. So I don't have any concern in terms of impervious problems or that concern at all. And I see you're stuck here because you were grandfathered in and then they changed the ordinance. So there you go. I guess that's my comment. I got to check with my better half here. But I think overall what they've planned is very good. I think that as a visual, it will be very attractive. And I'm glad to hear you've got the fence on top of the wall because you have to have that for safety for the family. So that's it. Ask me anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Red Boss, also 744 White Birch. Again, the downhill side. And I will leave to the engineers the impervious and the strength of the wall. I don't know, so I'm going to let the experts handle that. What I'm going to miss are the trees. Those trees have been there for 40 years while I've been there. And so my biggest suggestion was probably going to be what Mr. Zito had suggested, some gentle giants in the back. I don't know if we need to put that into the ordinance, if we need to put height in there. I don't want to wait 10 years to not see a 10-foot wall, but you guys know how to put that together better than I. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Norman Bellion, 736 White Birch Road. To the south of this property, the neighbor has a pool. Did they put it up with the same retaining wall? That would be my question. If it's been done before, you'd think it could be done again.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
But every grade is when it comes to water, slope less as you get closer to school. Yeah, so it may not look like, it's not like they have any major change.
Hold on, I think the question was to the engineer.
And it's their house is also.
Are you aware of what is next door?
No, I was just actually Googling it right now.
All right, so
It's hard to tell.
So we'll try and get an answer for you. If there's no other questions, motion to close the public portion for questions for this witness or these witnesses.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll let you recess and talk about those things for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
All right, we are back on the record.
Okay, so.
Anything you'd like to share with us?
Yes, we do have some alternatives that were discussed by the board, and we'd like to present them to you, and hopefully you'll be happy with it. So there was a suggestion of putting arborvitaes along the backyard to screen the wall. And we would like to do that along the back of the wall, 8 to 10 foot high arborvitaes, okay, which is going to block most of the wall.
One row or two?
We could do a staggered wall, right, in addition to the plantings that are there as shown. In addition to that, we'd like to reduce the size of the pool to, what do we say, 18 by 36? 18 by 36.
Okay.
What is it now?
What would that-
20 by 40.
It's 20 by 40.
Have you done the calculations yet on what that would,
So
Increase.
that, because would you be reducing the patio around it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, we could.
Okay.
If we use the patio more, so we bring it in, 2 feet either side, we would do the patio.
Does that then bring it within the setback? How close would it then?
So the side setback to the patio, again, is we're at 10.5 over here.
I think you need 15.
We need 15 feet, so that would bring in, we probably.
Wouldn't bring it all the way up.
Probably shift, we may want to shift the pool over just a little bit anyway. If we cut off the 2 feet over here, let's say we cut off the 2 feet over there, maintain the 6 feet over there because you want some room around patio there. So we're picking up 2 feet, so that'll be 12.5 feet versus 15.
Okay, 12.5 versus.
12.5 versus 15. We reduce the patio, the patio overlay, we reduce the pool down to 18 by 36. And then provide staggered row of arborvitaes in the back to screen.
The pool would be 18 by 36, so what would the patio in the back be?
So the patio,
Reduce that to 6 foot instead of 10?
Can you use the microphone, please?
Sorry.
yeah. So we have 10 feet from the coping. Jim, you want to reduce that down to? So it's over here. So that we would maintain the 10 feet from the step to the pool, so you can have the chairs. The setback over here on the southerly side is 19.5 feet of patio there. So what can we give them a dimension, Jim? What do you?
that would probably cut.
Yeah.
This is 10 foot?
Yeah.
So you can probably cut
6.
back to 6 foot
Right.
here. This is gonna kind of line the wall or maybe
Right,
the steps.
right. So you cut 2 feet off of that. Right. All right, so,
That I think would be the best
Right.
place to cut that, because then, yes, you could have your chairs by the house. You still have room for tables on the side, but it's addressing the board's concerns about the height of the retaining wall.
Right.
Now,
And you're taking advantage.
could
of the
you
sun.
bring it
Yeah.
one more step down from the house?
so we have now we have 1, 2, 3 risers.
Right.
So once you start putting more risers, then you need railings as well. Right.
Well, you would need railings anyway over 2 steps.
I think it's probably defers to the architect here. I think it's 30 inches, right, for railings.
Measures are 30 inches.
Yes.
So wherever the two were concentrated.
Right. So that would, wouldn't be the ideal situation for the client. So I think I'll leave it up to you guys, but would you be willing to add an additional step and then put railings? Yeah, I think it takes away from the aesthetics if you have railings on that.
So if you leave without,
So you're only at 30 inches right now with that.
I think we're 20, 3 steps, 3 risers, 8, 3 times 3 is 24. So we're 24 inches. So could we go 30 inches to 7-inch risers?
I think you got to start from.
Foundation.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You already,
That's a patio with steps attached to it,
right.
with the foundation. So.
Was that already constructed, Jim? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Was that already constructed, those?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's existing.
So that's existing.
Okay.
So what, by reducing the pavers in the back to 6 feet, what does it do to the wall?
I'll give you more.
Well, you know what we could do,
Grass.
right?
Right, but I'm looking for the height to come down a little bit.
Yeah, could you slope that 4 feet to the retaining wall
And drop the wall.
and drop the wall 2 feet?
If you don't have it, how much space, how much grass?
We have right now 25 feet. If we left it where it is, we'd have 27 feet. Yeah, so
Can I,
So it would drop it probably 1 foot here, probably.
I think we could drop it a foot.
Yeah.
We could drop it a foot. You'd still have a relatively level
But it
backyard.
still would be significant because it would have a buffer and, a 4-foot grass
Right,
buffer.
right.
Which,
Take care of your, between the
So-
wall and the thing.
So from the patio right now, we have 25 feet.
Right, so now you're gonna have 30 foot of grass.
Right.
From the pad, it's the pool isn't right against the wall, the retaining wall.
Right.
Down here, that's that wall, that's not wall.
No, that's-
It's
So this is just that we have a stone river rock border around the pool patio area.
yeah, I'm just
Runoff.
thinking you want to keep that, that 4 foot as the soil
Mhm.
there,
Oh, yeah,
the
that
4
would
foot
be,
of soil.
yeah, that would all be grass. I would shrink that and I want more grass.
Yeah.
I want to stop my kids to throw baseball or something. So,
All right, so if we made that, I wrote down 6 feet. All right, so 6 feet on that side. We drop the wall 1 foot.
So the wall will be 9 foot instead of 10.
Right, it
And you
would
would
be,
have 30 feet,
you know,
29.7.
it's 10 and a half right now, so it'd be 9 and a half. That's the height.
Only going down 6 inches.
No, 1 foot. It's right now, it's 10 and a half feet.
I'm sorry, 10 foot.
So to be clear, though, you would take you would have 6 foot of pavers and then 4 foot of grass
right.
for the wall.
Yes, everything's, you're gonna have grass from the edge of the pavers, this is 10 foot now, it's gonna be 6 foot. So then you're gonna have a total of 30 feet of grass between the retaining wall and the pool.
Okay, 'cause I want to keep that soil
29.7.
Right, yeah, so
Right.
do I. So do I.
Yeah. Can you run the numbers on that with regard to impervious coverage?
Yeah, if you give me a few minutes, I
Yep.
will try to work that
Take
out.
as much time as you need.
18.
And arborvitae's, how high do they pop? Like
I'm
what?
gonna get 10 foot.
10.
So they'll now if it's 9 foot, they'll be.
It's gonna be
Oh, yeah, about
39
feet.
thick. Right,
You're
right.
start this much taller, yeah,
Well, your neighbor doesn't want to see the wall, so you'd rather have it covered.
I understand.
And they grow quick too.
And the wall would be decorative staggered
Yeah.
stone,
Yeah, something.
Split face,
split face,
earth tones.
earth tones. Heard that
I
somewhere.
know it sounds funny, but
I get it.
nobody wants to see it.
I get it. I understand.
Is the bulldozer on the property waiting for us for the approval?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't,
Fair 11 in the front.
Like the guy's ready to start the engine tomorrow morning?
Right.
Yeah.
if you don't approve it, it goes to your house.
That's how I make my house.
I did see it. It's like,
Would
wow,
the-
jumping the gun.
Would the arborvitae's satisfy some of the 2 for 1?
Yeah, they would.
They would,
They would.
right? Because I'd rather see more trees on the property and less.
In the bank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think the neighbors would as well, but maybe I'm just guessing.
It's 140.6 hours.
And it'll also,
You got those machines on my property are mine. Really.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, no, I thought it was a
Yeah,
contract.
we were level in the back. I was waiting to put sun.
Oh.
Yeah, I was not really.
No, I went by the house, I saw it, I said, ooh, he's waiting to go, like he wants the approval, start the engine and go.
they're also still finishing the first part.
Yeah.
Now, so we're gaining 2 feet on the side too, correct?
Yeah, so on the setback to
Okay.
the north side of the patio, we would increase that from 10.5 to 12 feet.
And then, of course, if we do choose to approve, we would require a revised set of drawings.
Of course.
Yes.
And a landscape plan with regard to the arborvitae's.
Yes.
And then the retaining wall would go through the engineer.
What else do we have to get?
Oh, we haven't heard the numbers yet, so.
Yeah.
Stormwater management.
Yes. That's the part we haven't gotten to yet.
I think it goes to a month.
It takes up that much. Thanks. Fine.
Cool. Doesn't have it?
See it.
Twenty-one 21. Well, 21
Based on 5% of what they apply for.
40.79. 40 pound, sorry, plus the pool, plus the pool.
I just did that.
Oh, that includes the pool? So it goes down to 35.
It's 33.
That's even better. Yeah, good.
That's the minutes. That's the.
Board professionals, 35.
On this board,
I got something.
on this board, that's the minimus. I've argued where 1% was not de minimis.
Are we including these stormwater?
Yes.
We are.
No,
I wouldn't.
no,
If it doesn't say to do it,
No,
I would.
No.
yeah,
I would not.
no.
I came up with 39.1%. That's the.
That's,
It does see.
We have an overall. Moving forward.
Here's what I heard. I heard that you were taking 4 feet out of the full length for the full width left to right, which was 66 feet,
We had.
according to the dimensions there.
Yes.
I don't think the scale on the bottom is the right scale. I think it's the wrong graphic. You can write the dimensions.
Yeah, no, that's.
Yeah.
So it is 60. approximately.
So 4 times 66.
Take that.
Everybody's taking out their calculators.
You notice I'm not.
Yeah, how many is it?
I need too many cooks here.
All right, so I was gonna line up with there. Two. And then we're doing the 18, which is 20. 20 plus 10. Plus 6, right, so that's 36.
Just told about it.
36 overall width
Yeah,
by 62.
I would take it. We need it. You know, if I keep.
22, 32.
Yes.
So that would be the total pool area. Pool and patio risk.
606.
So then you subtract.
and then you subtract the pool.
No,
They dropped the
no,
pool.
we're not taking, we're including the pool water and impervious stuff, right?
No,
No.
we're taking it out. Yeah,
Don't include the pool water.
It's not in our ordinance, so you don't have to include it.
So what does it do with the new
So
numbers?
now we take out the 18 times 37. The. The area.
I get closer to what he's got.
including the pool. Or
They,
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get closer down.
Well, we take out the water area. So that comes out to a total of 7,728 square feet. By about 2,100. There's 35 and a half, 35.5, let's say 35.
that's fine.
Okay.
And that's only,
So that's,
only 2% within our ordinance.
and
Yeah.
so again, that's excluding the.
Two and a half.
Want to make sure.
Excluding
Yeah.
the pool.
excluding the pool.
See, that's a lot better than 40.
Don't forget that 40 also included.
Right.
Okay.
They were at like 36 or 37 or something like that.
Yeah.
37.
So either way,
Basically reduce it by 2.
so what number were you agreeing on here for impervious coverage?
35.5.
35.5%.
Right. And the ordinance is what, 33 point?
33 on Rosie.
I'm sorry, what?
33.
33.
And I think I also heard that the side yard they're requesting now is 12 feet.
12.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through it once we've done.
Versus 15.
Well, are we going to see a revised set of plans before the vote?
I would.
Is it possible for us to take the vote and then provide the plans to the board engineer? You get them back to just so they can get.
You and I will go back and forth too many times.
Yeah, I think that would be a little difficult. I think,
I would feel uncomfortable about that.
yeah, and if our engineer feels uncomfortable, I feel uncomfortable.
Because I'd be constantly asking them, well,
Only reason is because if there's a mistake.
Yes.
Yes, and we have had our
And
fair
you're
number
calculating your
of
numbers.
people come back with mistakes.
And
Yeah.
can I get approval to remove the trees? So I can, because I'll start planting trees right away. You know, like I want to do this regardless. Even if you guys deny my wall, I'm still putting a row of trees back there anyway. So I just want to sod my yard right now, get this all set up so I can hire a pool guy, have a yard for the fall. And I just didn't want to, the whole premise behind us doing this now was I didn't want to sod my yard, put all that money into it and then run over it with tree trucks and everything else. Just want to enjoy my yard for 6 months before I start my pool, in the spring.
And I sympathize with that. I just, I don't think we can do it. What would you think about, Gary, with regard to the trees? Because he could put in trees. But if he puts in the trees beforehand.
my advice is to apply for a tree removal permit.
Yeah.
I'm absent of this board
How many trees you're trying to remove?
and put on the
And that will-
permit what you intend on doing and let the
But it's
tree person decide.
beautiful shade trees.
Yeah.
Old dead.
That doesn't hold up the
It's overpriced.
Right, so that would give you a little jump start if you apply for the tree removal application.
And it doesn't affect the application here.
Yeah, because we can't really partially approve.
Yeah, so
I could go on the planning board again. Also, I could just apply for the tree approval application.
Yeah. You have to put down- you have to put down exactly what you're doing,
Okay.
and they have to say yay or nay for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect this, and you can keep on going what you want to do.
Right, but the whole green tree thing in town, right, isn't that prohibiting me from doing what I want to do?
The whole, I'm sorry, the whole what?
You're only allowed to cut down 3 trees per year and the whole.
yeah, he might run into
Like
that.
that was, yeah, so they're gonna, so I was, first they said I was going to the planning board, then they said I was coming here to the zoning board. And
Unless they have a lot of disease.
they're not shade trees, they're.
Can you get like an address report?
Cut down. I've done it myself with the approval from
Can you get an address report?
I just
Don't give legal advice.
I'm just saying.
So, yes, or illegal advice. So
Legal advice.
just refrain from that. Your recommendation,
Unfortunately, I we have to wait.
yeah,
Given my experience,
right. With regard to the tree removal permit, I think you should apply.
it's, you're
But we can't
putting
approve.
myself and the board in an uncompromising position, and I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I can't do
we
that.
can't approve anything partially. So we can approve it at the next meeting. If the board is so inclined, I could take a straw poll with regard to, with those changes, how the board might feel, but that would be the most I could do. And I couldn't,
And it's not an approval.
and
or-
it's not an approval or a denial. In any way, shape or form, but, again, probably apply for the tree removal permit is probably to get a jump start, but we can't partially approve anything. And we can't approve anything unless we have completed new plans because it's a substantial change. So we have to do it at the next meeting.
So yes,
Yeah.
we didn't talk about soil at all.
Again,
To discuss before we can do anything.
Again, I have to hear from Mr. Yukimik on that too. So again, we're not approving anything, this instant. We're not denying anything this instant. We still have more to go. But I think we're giving you some constructive feedback on where we want to be for the next meeting before we take the vote. But again, it is going to depend on the numbers with regard to soil moving and also with regard to the stormwater, which I'd like to hear from you on.
Okay, fine. So, Mr. Martins, correct me if I'm wrong. There was no calculations for the stormwater in your application, was
I
there?
don't believe they were submitted. I did do a set of calculations, which we will forward to you.
We need to
Okay.
see that as soon as possible.
Yep.
And then with regard to soil movement, Mr. Chairman, it boils down to two things that I'm typically concerned about with soil movement. This is a fill application, so the soil has to be certified as clean before it gets to the site. So we need to see a manifest where it's coming from and certified to be NJDEP clean fill. So we would make that a condition of the approving resolution if the board so desires. Secondly is the amount of truck traffic, given the number of cubic yards. With the school being nearby, et cetera, that all has to be coordinated with the Washington Township Police. And so that's a concern. Maybe an idea is how many trucks, the question would be how many trucks are we looking at over what period of time to bring in the amount of soil. So those are the two biggest concerns I have of soil movement.
And
Was there a soil moving with the original application done? No. There was no soil moving at all?
No, with the
No,
original
the
planning.
ordinance says anything over 400 cubic yards has to be.
But it wasn't over
approved by a
400.
board, and it wasn't over 400.
Okay. Is it expected to be over 400?
Yes, we have on our plan, Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
a little table, so moving calculations. So we have a total cut of 255 cubic yards, a total fill of 1,185 cubic yards, and a net soil import of 930 cubic yards.
So Mr. Kimmick's concerns would have to be addressed before the next meeting so that the board can consider that. And that's with regard to soil movement. We haven't gotten to stormwater yet.
So I come up with about 84 trucks required. That's at about 14 cubic yards per
Right.
10. Okay.
Mhm.
So
And
gives the
again,
board
that is by a school, so it would have to be coordinated with the police department.
And we would agree to all those conditions, whatever
Right.
you want to put in, any approvals.
But I would recommend before you come back in front of the board for the final approval that we have a plan.
Mhm.
Or have at least started discussions on that.
And if it's too close in September, the school's gonna go crazy.
Yes.
I don't want to speak for the police, but definitely not during dismissal or I call it reveille, whatever it is.
Drop
Yeah.
off, pick up.
Drop off and pick up. Yes, so that is a concern.
You wouldn't even get a truck on the street during those hours.
No, you couldn't
Right.
anyway.
He knows.
So that's something that, again, we would need before we take a vote. And stormwater
Calculations.
calculations.
Demonstrating the adequacy of the of what you propose.
And the wall construction.
So wall construction, typically after the vote, also with drainage after the vote. I'm comfortable with reviewing the calculations after the vote, but if the board is not, we can do that before the vote. With retaining walls, same thing. I'm comfortable with reviewing the detailed calculations for the wall after the vote. That's typically done for those two items. So they would have to provide stability calculations to our office, addressing sliding, overturning, and bearing pressure, and have it certified by a New Jersey licensed engineer. And then during construction, we don't inspect retaining walls, but we require them to inspect the wall and have a licensed civil engineer inspect them, structural engineer, and then in order to get a certificate of compliance, they would have to give me a certification that the walls were constructed in accordance with the plans. And that's in my report, but those will all be conditions of the approval.
Okay. So that will need to be addressed. And also, as I said, the landscape plan with regard to the prospective plantings on the property. The more you can get done before the next meeting, the quicker we can.
If I may, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
I think the impervious area and the positioning and the screening are the and the dimensions are the important things that the board needs to see before the vote.
Obviously,
and I would beseech the board that they don't need to see the drainage, but if it's available, it's there, and to trust myself with regard to the drain.
Absolutely. Okay.
And the retaining.
So yes, and we'll need those revised plans. At least how long prior?
2 weeks, right? You need to pass
10 days.
10 days.
10 days.
10 days, 2 weeks. Is
You can do it, Mark.
And when is the next week?
2 weeks would be much appreciated.
When
10
is-
days the minimum?
When's the next meeting?
Are we September 15th?
So that's the
Great, so we September
So I
15th.
think
next
I should be able to get you the plans before that. The only thing is I do have a conflict. I'm out of the country that week, but maybe Steve can come in and fill in and continue.
I think what the plans say,
September 15th is the next meeting.
of when they cover.
I think Steve can probably do it. So Steve Reardon, the architect, came up with the actual layout of the pool and the wall locations. So he's very familiar with the plan. So I could certainly brief him about what has gone on in the meeting tonight and any revisions and changes that we've made to the plans.
Right.
So I think
It's gonna depend on, I think. What's that?
For him, if he was available, just not physically available, would Zoom be an option?
Literally, I'm in Italy, so I'll be on a cruise. I'm not, nowhere near. Yeah.
I think that would be fine if the architect comes in, as long as, again, you're in contact with Mr. Kimmich.
Yes.
With regard to the calculations.
Yep.
And he's comfortable with those calculations and can relay that to the board, then I think that's gonna be fine. Is that, am I misstating anything?
Yeah, confusion rests with when physical things are changing and dimensions as discussed. It's better for the board to act on a plan. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of confusion and a lot of questions going back and forth.
Right.
And I've seen it, and it's quite frankly horrible. So it takes a lot of my time. It takes a lot of the applicant's time to nail things down.
So again, noting that we are not approving nor denying anything tonight. I do want, Gary, if you could restate some of the things that we talked about, that the revisions to the plans.
This alternate revised plan after the break, we have the applicant putting in arborvitaes at the rear of the property that are staggered at least 8 feet high. 8 to 10 foot high. Well, they had said 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
Is that a 8 to 10?
No,
8 to 10 feet high. What?
no, the neighbors made a statement before that they would at least have it 10 feet so they don't see the wall. And you had said that's not a problem. That's usually asking.
The walls are also going to reduce the wall.
I know that, but they don't want to see the wall. They want to see.
Well, the wall's gonna be 9.
8 to 10 foot arborvitae's are okay?
10 feet.
Yeah, okay.
So. 10 foot it is. All right, 10 foot.
So 10 foot arborvitaes. We're reducing the pool to 18 by 36. Right, and you said you might shift it, but that's subject to your revised plans. The patio, side yard patio minimum now, it was 10.5 feet, will now go to 12.5 feet.
Correct.
the impervious coverage will now be reduced to 35.5%. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. We were talking about the wall, about a split face earth tone, something like that. We get it for the finish, the wall finish, I guess that is.
Come forward.
Earth tone color, okay. We need to see a revised landscape plan, a revised overall set of plans with these changes that we're discussing. Stormwater management will be submitted to those calculations. Soil movement, right, there hasn't been anything provided yet with soil
We
movement.
did just briefly touch on.
No, I mean like anything in
We'll
writing
discuss
or on the plans. Or-
conversation. We'll have Steve have a conversation with the police department on staggering or schedule for the truck.
Coordinate, one of the mix.
And dirt, so.
Part of it was the manifest, the NJDEP
Right.
was a concern. The other
Clean fill.
with the clean fill. The other part concern was the truck traffic with this amount of soil, with a school nearby, coordinating with police.
Height of the retaining wall in the rear.
Okay, height of retaining wall.
Yeah, we were looking at roughly a 9.5 foot high retaining wall.
Right, that's the one where I lost you. Okay, so what was the revised?
10.5 down to 9.
10.5 down to 9.5.
To 9.5
And
feet. This is the retaining wall
In the rear yard.
in rear yard. It was. Okay. And then I think you had said, John, was wall construction and retaining wall, you would be okay of seeing that after?
Yeah.
If it's not already.
Drainage is calculations and approval, retaining wall is calculations and approval, and a certification by their engineer upon its
Right,
completion.
that's usually part of the resolution.
Right.
And I think that was it, right? Is there anything?
That's all I had.
That's at least what they're acknowledging right now. They're going to revise the plans too and what the board is seeking.
Right, hold on, let's,
Just want to say the tree removal is going to the planning board. Is that correct?
We would rather do it here if that's possible.
Tree removal going to the planning board?
No.
No, we're
Yeah,
not.
you're saying.
Everything is going to be here, trees, soil, everything.
There's a comment on the trees was if they wanted to get them out earlier to file a permit to get them out now.
Okay, so they will only approve 3 trees.
Right. So they're not gonna approve.
As long as you
Unless they're
understand, they're
really
only
truly
going to approve 3
saplings.
trees.
No, we're not, they're not going to do that. They're not applying for that.
Right.
I mean, if they do something separate, I know that's going to be part of.
Right. If they wait, this board can act on the trees.
okay. So we can act on the trees.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone
Yeah.
else have anything? Did we miss anything
We were
discussing?
And they won't have to go back to the planning board or anything.
So are we like voting on trees tonight?
Okay, no, we're not voting on anything tonight. We're just,
Unless you want to straw poll, Mr. Chairman.
we could take a straw poll with regard to
Non-binding.
non-binding straw poll with regard to the application as we assume it's going to be amended with revised plans under the conditions that were just laid out by the attorney and the engineer. And if all of that is complied with, then we can take a straw poll, non-binding straw poll as to whether the board favors the application with those conditions or not. I would say, of roll call.
You're not.
We don't need a
Not voting or
motion,
anything.
so.
We're not voting on it.
Well, I mean, yes, so if we want to take a straw poll, we can. Do we?
Or the applicant.
Roll
You're
poll?
basically
you can
calling
just-
for it.
Yeah, just ask each member if are they look at this favorably the way it is right now, positively?
Yeah.
Do they have any other concerns?
Well,
they want to address? And
That's why I think
Yeah.
the roll call is rather than a show of hands. So a roll call in that respect, non-binding straw poll.
Mr. D'Agostino,
Approve.
Mr. Legrana,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Approved.
Mrs. Osmond,
Not sure until I see plans.
Mr. Lithgow,
Yes.
Mr. Tadros,
Yes.
Chairman Gebb.
Yes, I'm also not obviously sure until we see the plans too, but under those conditions, I think would probably be a yes. So you have your homework and we will see, and there will be an opportunity to speak for the audience next time, once we get the revised plans. But you will see.
So we're going to carry this to the next meeting. We're not going to require further notice, right?
Correct.
So carried again to the September 15th.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
What's next? Resolution?
Next, we had the continuation, which was, we already,
Garibaldi.
just want to restate that the Garibaldi, 982 Garibaldi Place, block 2307, lot 25, continuation of application will be, for the next meeting.
September 15th.
September 15th, carried
Notice.
with notice.
It's just like, it's the best time.
And you'll let the applicant know that they must provide notice.
I've done, I have to see that's it.
Resolution number ZB 26-11 to approve the application of Tim Walsh to add 1-story addition and 1-car garage at 452 Richmond Boulevard North, lot 2304, lot 14. Any questions, concerns, edits on that resolution?
I just have a question. I couldn't see it. I know we had discussed that we wanted the sideline properties to go from the front all the way to the back. Right? Because that was what you had brought up in that meeting, that the driveway needs to go straight. And the gentleman said in the back where he parked his cars and everything else. I don't see that in this.
Well, one thing, there was a comment from Mr. Kimmett, which I don't think is on.
Reflect, Mr. Bailey, it's back up.
Oh,
yes, sorry. My fault.
Well, before we get into that, I know John had some comments that he's emailed, and one of them was on the first page towards the end of that paragraph, where it says, is less than required 3 feet from the rear property line. He wanted.
Yeah, I wanted to be clear that was from the real property.
On page 1, first paragraph.
Page 1, which
Next to last one.
You're saying that is less than the required 3 feet from the property line, the existing driveway and fence in the right side yard?
Yeah, 3 feet from, we're going to add rear
property line.
because property line is not as specific.
Is that what you were looking for, Fred, to make sure that the line went straight from the front of the street to the back of the house?
Yeah.
That the setback would be more even than this?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
If I remember correctly, yes.
Okay.
I was looking for. But I'm only one vote. So if that's what the board was looking for,
That's, Mr. LaGrada,
Yeah.
that's condition C on page 6.
Oh,
Where it says the existing asphalt driveway shall be reduced to a minimum of 3 feet off of the property line from the concrete block wall to the remaining length of the existing driveway. And what I do is I take notes on the plan on what you guys want, and then I scan that and put it in a file. So even if I get really senile and I can't remember what this means, I could refer to the plan where I
See your notes,
where I
drawing.
those notes and everything, and I don't have to keep bothering you on what you meant by these things. So that's there.
and all the numbers, I didn't write all it down. All these numbers are correct?
Yes, I checked them all.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's already in here, but he did correct in paragraph 2.
I checked all the numbers, yeah.
Is 24 feet. I'm looking at his corrections that he proposed. There were just a few.
Okay.
And with that addition of, on page 1, you have everything as far as your engineer and attorney can say.
And this is the application that I mentioned before in the beginning about the shed.
Yes,
Right,
minutes, yeah.
right. Okay.
Right, in the resolution, they does say that they said it's no longer there
Okay, anyone else, any
in the res.
changes or concerns?
Nothing.
All right, motion to approve resolution ZB 2611.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. LaGrana,
Yes.
Mrs. Osmond,
Yes.
Mr. Bellion,
Yes.
Mr. Tadros,
Yes.
Chairman Gett.
Yes, why is Mr. Lickerata's,
He should, that's a
Oh.
mistake.
He
can vote.
He can vote.
He can
Okay, so that stands.
Yes.
All right,
He was present.
all right. Status report review.
I had thought 891 Manhattan was already resolved and finished and done.
So we're still working on the curb. And if it was properly inspected by the township engineer.
And the bond has already been put up.
Don't know. Don't know.
So the curb is still an issue from, but now we're going back to the original problem, which was the curb when he first came here.
Right, so it was the width of the curb.
Right.
And the township engineer, Mr. Beckmeyer, if you recall, he wrote the letter to the board saying that it was greater than 25 feet. My understanding from Mr. Beckmeyer was that he did not inspect the curb. Now the applicant is saying that Mr. Beckmeyer did inspect the curb. So my last email earlier today was confirmed from Mr. Beckmeyer that we approved the curb. So it's a challenge to get to the truth here, ladies and gentlemen.
Didn't you mention in one of the meetings that your other concern about the curb was that it might be falling apart?
Well, the surface was, he repaired it. He just patched it. But my bigger concern is that he went down 18 inches with the curb because that's the township standard. I don't want him to only go down just below the surface of the road because then that curb is going to be
He has
deteriorating.
to go down to 18 inches in order to fix the problem.
Well, in order to construct a curb along the township streets, the standard is you have to go down 18 inches. I have yet to receive proof that he did do that.
So we're waiting on Mr. Beckmeyer and we'll hear.
That's
back.
right.
And Mr. Beckmeyer could be saying that he did inspect it and.
That was my original understanding from like 9 months ago.
Right.
That
Isn't he supposed to inspect it before it's actually poured?
yes, and and that the applicant is required to contact him 48 hours before that.
Right, before they actually
Before
pour
they
it, so
do
we can
that.
look down and see it.
So we're in he said, she said period right now. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of this thing.
So we'll have an update by the next meeting for that.
Yes.
Okay,
Any other questions on that? I don't have the sheet in front of me, but I could certainly ask.
everything else looks pretty in progress.
Is Mr. 745 Koch Avenue on
Yes.
that?
Yes.
All right, so I finally received plans from the architect that comply with the board's intention. And he had an escrow problem for weeks. He finally resolved the escrow problem. So upon him resolving the escrow problem, I render the report today, allowing him to construct a driveway as shown on his architectural plans and with the proper driveway. So he's got the green light to do that now finally.
Okay.
It takes baby steps, Mr. Chairman.
So John, is it your responsibility now to go back to see if he's constructing the driveway
Yes.
properly?
Yes,
Do you have to get notification prior to them starting?
that was in my report, 48 hours.
Okay.
Anything else?
Calamari, break rock with, I guess there's stuff waiting there.
Yeah, that's another, that's a little new business, Mr. Chairman. I received a request from Mr. Bruno, their architect, to put a appendage on the driveway, basically another parking space over to the left. And I talked with Mr. Bruno over the phone, and I said, I'm sorry, Mr. Bruno, I mean, yes, you might be interpreted to be now still within the code of less than 22 feet, because as you may, I always go by the traveled way, the way you're traveling. But your application was taken by the board in its totality. So in order for that, I cannot approve that. You have to basically come back before the board if you're going to make that kind of change to it. And I told him that over the phone. He said, well, I'm going to submit it anyway. And I says, well, all right, submit it, but that's what I'm telling you. You would have to come back before the board.
I would think he would, yeah, absolutely. Just, we had the same situation with the, was it Conch Peak?
Yes.
That's a change to the application that's.
Post approval.
Post approval, absolutely. So
Okay.
they would have to come back he would have to come back in front of the board.
Right. So unequivocally, I got the ruling from the board.
Yes.
Okay.
Was there one other, I know there was a gentleman who emailed or asking about to come to the next meeting or some issue with.
Yes, Mr. Zelichik.
Yeah, what was
He
that?
lives on Beach.
Right.
Several years ago, this board approved a,
Is that the retaining
yes.
wall in the flood zone? Yeah.
Well, it's not in the flood zone, but it's
I've seen it up to here.
on Beach at that location.
Down there, yeah.
Oh, okay. So he came to this board. I'm not sure if you were chairman at the time. It might have been that far back.
No, I remember it.
Oh, you do? Okay. So he came before, I wasn't at the meeting. Jeff Morris was covering for me. He was applying to make his driveway wider than 22 feet. As part of that application, he had to build a retaining wall. I had two conditions. One, and the board approved, was for him to put a curb on the widened portion at the edge of pavement. Beach Street has no curbs. So quite frankly, I could take or leave that comment. And the other thing was not to build the retaining wall within the public right of way, because there could be a chance in the future that sidewalks would come to that neighborhood.
I
Because
think we
they're
were
all,
pretty clear, if I remember correctly, that, yes, those were
Okay.
conditions.
so Mr. Zelichik built the wall within the public right of way.
Yes.
And he did not install the curb. And so I asked him why he didn't do it. He said, because I didn't want to. And I said, I'm sorry, I cannot wave my magic wand. You have to go back before the board to seek relief on those two items.
Well, he's got to reapply the whole application, because that was pretty clear in the resolution, from what I remember, that he could not do that. And that was discussed at length, I believe, in front of the board.
Was he asking for escrow back or something? Is that
He was asking for escrow back, but I said, before you even get to that, you haven't fulfilled the board's
resolution
conditions.
compliance? Yeah, he hasn't complied.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's been no action taken by anyone that the resolution provides for, or, in terms of he didn't do what he's supposed to do.
He didn't do what he was supposed to do, so I can't.
It's not building a house or anything where we can.
No.
We stop something or revoke.
There was no bonds posted. The only thing that was posted was escrow.
Well, what will happen to something like that? I mean, he just did what he wanted to, and he said, well, I wanted to, and you don't have any authority. And so where does this leave the town in reference to a resident? I don't understand.
So, I'm not sure if I understand your question, but.
Does he have to come back? Suppose he doesn't decide just like he didn't want to do it.
It's not coming back unless he posts a bond and pays his
technically
escrow and knocks.
He's not getting the escrow back.
He's technically in violation of his approval.
Right.
And the zoning official could, I don't know, I guess impose fines.
Well, can the zoning official go out there and do something about it?
I would think
Not
so.
with this
Yes.
board.
I
Part of
would
what
think
this
that this
board-
would be, we should revert this to the zoning board official because he's not in
They're
compliance.
the one
Well, that's what I'm asking, you know,
Yeah,
what is?
we can't enforce it.
What address is
Well, no, I
this, John?
understand that, but I just don't understand. You know, we have a board to try to get
It's on
people to do
Beach.
things.
Yeah.
It's across
So
from
if we
Councilman
would.
Sears'
You know the address, Fred?
Across from
Councilman-
Councilmember
603.
Sears' house.
603.
So my understanding is he's coming to the September meeting, because there were some emails back and forth. I said, well, you can come in front to the board at a meeting and tell the board what the
Right.
requesting or issue is, and
In the
we can
meantime-
decide which way you want to
I
go.
think the zoning board.
In the meantime, I think
allowed.
we should take a vote on referring this to the zoning board official
The
to,
zoning official was present with me at that meeting and
Okay.
agreed with him.
so he's aware of it.
Yeah, but, that was a long time ago.
Okay.
So,
Maybe need
you
a
know,
reminder.
he needs a
Yes.
reminder.
So,
Add it to our list here.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Do we need to vote on that, or do we, I mean, it's.
I would say
Clear
let's
violation.
let's vote on it so that the zoning board official is aware of the board's intent. To refer this matter to the zoning board official to take action with regard to the violation, because it's been a long-standing violation of,
Of the resolution.
Of the resolution.
approval, yeah.
and the approvals. So,
I think that should just be automatic.
I would think so too.
I would think,
Or
We shouldn't
maybe
have to vote on it, it should just be automatic.
yeah,
just a reminder.
That's my point.
Yeah.
okay.
But I'm happy to make.
I
that
think we
motion.
should memorialize
I'm
it.
happy to make that motion.
Yeah.
And I'll second.
Then there you go. Roll call.
Okay, Mr. D'Agostino,
Agreed. Yes.
Mr. Lebrada.
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mrs. Osmond.
Yes,
Mr. Zipko.
Yes.
Mr. Bellion
Yes.
and Mr. Tadros.
Yes.
Chairman Getz.
Yes, and you will follow up with that.
Right now, he came to the board, so there had to be some sort of application to start with, which means he needed a permit to do it, correct or incorrect?
My understanding, well,
You got a road opening.
I'm sorry?
No, road opening.
For the retaining wall, that way.
Oh, for the retaining wall, my understanding is the UCC considers retaining walls as structures, so you do have to pull a permit for the retaining wall. Whether he did or not, I do not
Right.
know.
So if he did construction without a permit,
Am I right?
that's what is required, that's issue number one. Issue number two is he came and filled out an application to get this stuff approved. It was approved, given it wasn't in the right of way. So that's violation number two. And number three, then, if he had to pull a permit, it would have needed to be closed. And to close the permit, it would have needed to be inspected. And that's where we're apparently lacking in procedure and enforcement to do
Well,
these things.
not anymore, because the zoning official is going to be made well aware of our
But
vote
if nobody
tonight.
told us,
When was this done?
but if nobody told us,
right.
then there's something in the process that's missing. Which is
Agreed.
why a lot of this stuff happens and they say, well, you know what, if they don't want to let me do it, I'm just going to do it anyway. And nobody's going to enforce it because nobody bothers to follow up on it.
That's true.
Which is why we have a status report review now.
Frankly,
that's
the
pretty
zoning
much-
officer, it's full circle. It has to come back to he or she that once he issues that denial, he or she has to follow that whole process through.
Yes.
I'm just a very
I mean,
thorough
and I'll
person.
tell you why that kind of bothers me is when I bought my house, I had so many unclosed permits.
Yeah, be careful. Kevin.
Yeah.
Just watch what
Well, the person who owned it is long deceased.
you're using your own personal.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is
When was this done?
people buy houses and there's 20, 30.
It will be
unclosed
referred
permits.
to the zoning board official to take further action,
And
and we'll
that
have
shouldn't
another
happen.
status report review on the next meeting.
Right, but it shouldn't happen that people move in.
What's happening with 112
unclosed permits.
At
We're
one
not
time,
following
the zoning officer had to come to the zoning board meetings to give his input into things. Now, that's a very good procedure to have, because then they know what's going on and they see it firsthand.
I like.
Because you can't expect Grace to keep everybody informed about everything, or Mr. Kimmel. And that used to be that way, because when I was secretary to this board, that zoning officer was at meetings. He didn't have to come to every meeting, it depended on the type of meeting and how involved it was. And
And
he gave his opinion.
I agree, that is that's good policy. However, I do not know what the zoning board officials' contract with the Township of Washington states.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I do not know what the employment handbook states. I will not speculate on that. So yes, we would love that, but I don't think we have any mechanism for enforcing that as a board. So I can't speculate on that. I can't require them. We can't require them.
Mr. Kimmich, do you know any towns that you deal with that have that happen?
The last one I know of was Hawthorne. About 2 years ago, the zoning officer came to all the Board of Adjustment meetings.
So we can refer that matter
to the
council and the mayor, because I believe that would be
Yes, he also
And
issue as
in
well.
Westwood, although Armand does not physically come to the meetings, he's very much on top of things in the full circle of items.
So that would be any board member, any issues, then that's my issue. Let's refer that to the mayor, administration, and council. Also, with regard to the ordinances, we'll talk about that. If Mr. Kimmich can give us a little bit better understanding for the next meeting. I think at the next meeting, we can discuss referral with regard to the retaining walls in the setback. And
50%.
Yes.
Could we do 50%, please? I mean, like, come up with what's 50%?
I think
Well,
we
again,
discussed in one of the planning.
we'll discuss that when we get a little bit more information on maybe what other towns do, what some similar ordinances might say, then we can make a decision there of
Yeah, because,
what a recommendation might be.
Grace, did the house on Ridgewood Boulevard North up on the hill, it's near Picari's. Did that house come in front of the zoning, planning board?
The recent one that they're working on?
Yes, yes.
So they did not, they got a stop work order for soil movement. They did not take down more than 50% of the wall.
Yeah, they had 2 walls up.
They had 2 walls up, so
That's
they
it.
met the requirement, so they were not referred to.
2 walls up. The front wall and the side wall.
Yeah.
All interior walls were down, everything.
Yeah, but I think,
that's
I heard a planning zone meeting where this was discussed and Paul Azalina said it's only the exterior walls.
That's correct.
So
2
if I
exterior
remember-
walls.
The-
No,
So
if
linear-
if it two are 50% of the existing
Yes.
structure.
Yes,
then-
hold on, Mr. Kimmich, yes.
So my understanding historically, this town has calculated that by exterior walls. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. We have to think about what is the intent of the ordinance. Is the intent for the entire building to be gutted and for them to shore up 2 exterior walls? I don't think that's the intent of the ordinance. So should it be volume? Should it be?
Yeah.
My personal opinion is it should be removed from the
Should
ordinance.
I
It serves zero purpose. You
And
look
again-
at you look at what's conforming, what are we saying, what are we doing other than a charade?
Right, I agree, and we could make that recommendation to
So you think it doesn't?
the administration and the council to.
Well, if you read the, I'm sorry, Mr.
Correct
Chairman,
our
but
ordinance.
I'm a little passionate about this. If you read the ordinance, it says, for the purpose of saving trees.
This is meant to send people to the planning board.
And right, and
What everything is designed to do.
And, you know, I don't know what trees and 50% of the house would, one has to do with the other. I don't know what that.
If that's the case, would more applications come to the zoning board than the planning
If
board?
they are not confirming, they will come to the zoning board, but if they are confirming within the setback, they just need to demo the house and.
Yeah, a
build
lot
the
of
new
people
house.
go just because they're demoing the house.
Yeah.
It's a conforming house that they're gonna build, but since they're demoing.
Almost every, I don't want to belabor this, but almost every other, I don't know another town with a code like that.
I don't need, I don't. I-
Zero.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is you're making it an 8-month process for a person to build a new house in this town. People specifically look past this town because of that. It's known. It's a known fact.
So maybe we should.
And it always has been a known fact.
So if the intent of the township is if you comply with all the zoning rules, it should be eliminated.
Yeah, you should be allowed to
And
build.
again,
You should be allowed to build within
we
the
can
zoning.
discuss and make that recommendation at the next meeting to the governing body.
Nothing against the planning board, nothing, you know, but you always go back to what the intent of what you want to do. It's my recommendation.
So again, we'll discuss that at the next meeting and make our recommendations.
So I'm sorry, what happened to 112 President? I'm sorry, on the report? The tank removal stall, all revised plans, that's all waiting for you?
You know, Mr. Legrada, I received a request to revise their plan after approval to add another driveway parking space off to the left. And I told the architect, I can't approve this.
Let's come back to the board.
It has to come back to the board.
Yes.
For the totality.
So if they want to make that change, they'd have to come back to the board. Okay.
All right, anything else?
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
I would like.